This review will cover the case of the Phoenix Lights, and this consists of an unidentified flying object which flew over the city of Phoenix on March 13th, 1997. And let's see, it began in Nevada. That's when it was first seen, and then it flew through Phoenix and it over Phoenix, and it ended up was last seen near Tucson, Arizona. And it was so big, people often refer to it as as being as big as a Boeing 747. And what's different about this particular unidentified flying object being seen is the governor also saw it, as well as thousands of people. And the military has referred to it as flares in the sky, but that explanation really has never been accepted by the public or the media. And this particular unidentified flying object did not show up on radar. And in a rather peculiar coincidence, Kurt Russell, the famous actor, he was piloting a plane over Arizona that night, and he's the first person to call in to authorities that there was an unidentified, rather large unidentified flying object in the sky that night. And let me get a little more information on here. Let me put this on the screen. One moment, please.
City witnesses a UFO reported to be as large as 2 or 3 football fields.
Was the shape of a boomerang.
A large black object coming right towards us. I thought I was going to pass out. I was so enthralled in looking at this thing.
And that's not a mile long. In 1997, thousands in Phoenix, Arizona witnessed an enormous craft.
Do these lights belong to visitors from outer space?
It was being blasted all over the television, so people were going outside of their houses and looking up in the sky.
Now, new evidence is introduced in one of the most enduring UFO cases in history.
All hell broke loose, basically, and we had a complete lockdown.
Official explanations are dissected.
The Air Force stated that flares were dropped around 10 p.m., but witness reports came in over an hour before the flares were dropped. So using that excuse makes a mockery out of what thousands of people said they saw.
And a former governor reveals his startling admission.
And that's a little more information about the Phoenix Lights. And that's the governor on the screen there, and he has admitted seeing the lights, and he was in the Air Force, and he doesn't know what they were. And let me get a quick interview with him on the screen, and this adds credibility to this particular event. One moment, please.
June 13th, 1997. This event called Lights Over Phoenix. What did you see?
Well, I saw a huge craft just kind of come right over Squaw Peak. That was, it was just breathtaking. And I'm not sure about the date. You've got a better memory for the dates than I do. Yeah.
But there was no, like the Clinton day, no.
No. No, I was on a strict diet. No, I'm serious. I'm serious now. That it was unquestionably it was a UFO, which means unidentified flying object.
Right. Doesn't mean we're being visited.
Well, it's nothing like anything I've ever seen.
And you're an Air Force guy.
Yeah, and a pilot. Got a lot of hours flying, so it was pretty breathtaking. And I'll never forget. I snuck out to see it. Without DPS, which I'm not supposed to be driving my own car and that kind of thing. And so, but I told Ann what I was doing. I was going to go up to Squaw Peak and see what everybody was, clamoring about. And when I walked in the front door, she looked at me, and I was apparently just normally
And that's the governor of Arizona offering his review of this particular event. A lot of people think this is the most significant UFO event since the crash at Roswell in the 1940s. And let me see if I can get one more screen on here, if I can get to actually... and one moment, please.
Playing mysteries of our time, at least here in Arizona. Today marking 21 years since the Phoenix Lights first appeared in the sky. To this day, nobody really knows what they were or where they came from.
It's been that long, huh? This weekend, you can relive the phenomenon with a documentary airing right here in the Valley. Lena is over at the Harkins Shea 14 at Scottsdale Road. And Shay, with your preview of a mystery people are still curious about. The truth
is out there, you guys? Do you guys remember this? Do you remember the flood of phone calls coming into the newsroom? What is that? There's something in the sky.
And that's a little more news coverage. And let's see if we can get the actual the lights that were filmed by a camcorder back then. Let's see. And if you can see, the one light is on the far left, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks like there's 7 of them. And underneath there is the city of Phoenix. So that offers some dimensions as to actually how big the flying saucer actually was. And let's see if I can get a little more on there.
On the mainstream event of its time, where we show the documentary on international documentary and the big film and we have speakers, including Navajo Rangers, who are law enforcement studying these things, as well as a Zuni elder who talks about the Native American connection. That's really profound and amazing. Travis Walton, if you remember the movie.
Well, yeah, Fire in the Sky. That's another one here in Arizona.
And that's a little more news coverage about it. And if you look closely, you can see the lights on there, and that should give the best review of what people saw and that was filmed that night. But anyhow, it's just a quick flashback here. If you've heard about this case before, hopefully this is just a quick review. And if not, hopefully I was able to get everything in here for an informative review in a quick capacity. And that should do it. And let me get this off. I'll check it out, make sure everything came out okay.